Hello, it is Nancy Juetten, and I'm coming to you live in the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. And today is Monday, November 16th, and it is just about 1 o'clock p.m. straight up. And why am I excited to be here? Because it is my Bio Makeover Monday and more. And this is my live show that I come on just about every Monday to look over bios, media one sheets, speaker sheets, to put my eagle eyes on your message and ask clarifying questions that could help turn a good effort into a spectacular door opening tool. So if you are joining me live, go ahead and type a note or say hello and let me know you're with me so that I can see here and honor and celebrate you. And if by chance you join me by replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. And if you have a question or a comment or something you need some follow-up with, I will happily respond to you, because this is a group that's all about helping people get seen, heard, helped, ultimately celebrated, and subsequently compensated for their winning ways. One of the things I love about Bio Makeover Monday is it's an opportunity not only for the people who are stepping up to ask for support to get the support, but when they're so brilliant at what it is that they're showing up to be, that's a brilliant opportunity for them to be seen, heard, and celebrated and acknowledged for their expertise. And it could very well be that you have been looking for someone just like that to solve an urgent problem in your business, in your life, in your family, in your universe. And my fondest hope is that Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group members will do business among and between each other and create collaborations that can expand the impact of all the players. Speaking of which, before I get into the Bio Makeover piece, I wanted to send a couple of shout outs to folks. Sheldon Clausen is a wonderful and actively engaged member of this group, and he participated in the podcast Dream Guest Challenge in September and was a true standout in that effort and really came out with a powerful message and a whole suite of ways he was going to go bigger in his business. And as I got to know him, because he was posting so routinely the homework and getting my feedback, I became quite intoxicated with what he does and how he does it. And what do you know, we struck up a conversation and he decided to invite me to be a guest on his podcast. And today, the first snippet of that show debuted, and I posted it here in the group. But I think it's going to be a really juicy conversation that you're going to want to listen to about success and how you achieve it and how it's a long distance race and how mastery is so important. And I think as you get to know Sheldon, you're probably going to want to know what else is going on with him. And we'll have some more to tell you about something the two of us have brewing coming up very shortly. The other person I wanted to send a shout out to is none other than the amazing and incomparable Cloris Kiley. She is someone I've talked to you about before. We just completed the Grow Your List giveaway. That was her big flagship list building event. And I was honored to participate. But I also want to say thank you to Cloris, because she was on an interview with Ken Newhouse of Get Clients Now. And I think he must have said, who do you know that I should interview on my show? And she was only too gracious to suggest me as a guest. And so today I am the 365th, I think, guest on the Get Clients Now podcast, which I've dropped here in the group. And I got to tell you, this guy put me through my paces. And I want to share with you something else about this podcast that might come as a surprise to you. Sometimes I do a podcast interview and I feel like I've totally nailed it, and I hang up the phone or turn off the Zoom and I think to myself, that was great. I don't have anything to worry about. But when I got interviewed by Ken Newhouse, I got to tell you, I had this sinking feeling that I was blowing it. He was very tough and he asked me questions to prove what gave me the right to speak about what I was speaking about. I wasn't expecting that. And I had this gut feeling that maybe I wasn't stepping in to my true value. And in the days following this interview, I actually had this pit in my stomach and was wondering if, when I listened back to it, if I would want to be in a position of begging him to take it down. That's how much head trash was swirling around in my head about how this interview went. But you know what? Today, when I listened to it, there was something oddly surprising about it. I think I got very convicted about demonstrating my value, because when I listened back to the interview, I sounded more powerful than I've ever sounded before. And the fact that this is his 364th episode, he's got a lot of listeners, and he's probably going to touch a lot of lives with this conversation that are probably going to ping pong a lot of people back into my world. So my takeaway from all of this is you just got to show up every time you're invited to speak up and trust that you've got it in you to deliver on command, and that you probably didn't blow it as badly as you thought. And in this case, it may have very well been one of my best interviews. So thank you, Cloris Kiley, for introducing me to such an influential podcast host. And I'm so excited that this interview will live on indefinitely. And if you get a chance to listen to it, see what you can learn, because I think I pretty much nailed it, even though in the moment that I was delivering it, I thought I was falling on my face. We probably are better than we give ourselves credit. So take that to the bank and think about it for a bit. Okay, so we have had 2 people that I know of have posted about their bios. And so let's get right to it. I'm going to go to the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group and see what is happening there, just to see if all is well. And I can see, oh, hey, Jackie Jacobs is here and Jocelyn is here. Awesome sauce. All right. So Jocelyn, I want to start with you. I know I've worked with you before, and you've done some beautiful work with horses, and it's so cool. So I'll read aloud one of the bios that you shared. It says, Jocelyn Ring has been called a horse whisperer for businesses. She has a calm, quiet way of helping businesses through large transformations through rebranding. She also partners with horses to help people learn about team building, communication, and how to lead with confidence so they can reach their goals. Well, already I'm intrigued, because a horse whisperer for businesses, that's very uncommon and definitely allows you to stand in your uniqueness. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Jocelyn, and if you are live on the call, go ahead and type in comments as I'm chatting, because I'm looking at the comment stream as I'm talking, okay? But who is your ideal client? Is it a corporate client with a big team that has big shareholders to satisfy? Or is it a smaller business or something in between? Because I think it would be a smart idea to name and claim who your perfect person really is, so that you can turn their head right away. So who is it specifically? We talk about the manner in which you do it, which is a calm, quiet way of helping businesses through large transformations. And you do it through rebranding. But I have so much curiosity about this, and I'm wondering if there's something you could say about well, I'll just say from an experience I had. I went to I went to a spa a number of years ago, and there was this equine experience, and the person who was running it, Wyatt Webb, said that he could tell more about you as a human being by the way you interacted with the horse than without you even speaking a word about who you are. And it turned out, when I went through this exercise with the horse, I just wanted the horse to like me. And I didn't have enough conviction to attack the situation and make a command of the horse to give me his hoof so I could clean it, or to do whatever it was that needed to be done as I was being directed. And so instead of having authority and persuasiveness over this horse, I got nowhere with this horse until I shifted my energy and got more direct about what I wanted to accomplish. Well, why is it important what I learned about what I was doing with that horse? Because that horse was getting me before I even spoke a word, right? And I think that when you make a shift to, if you observe the way people work with a horse, you're probably going to discover what their values are, and you're going to discover things about who these people are, so that you have some foundation upon which to build a brand. And I think you probably could put more juice in there so it's more clear to someone who's more concrete. So I see you're responding now, and you're saying smaller businesses, past startup, ready for the next level of growth, 100 employees, maybe looking for outside funding. I've helped companies get in a position to raise funding. Wow. Well, Let me ask you this then, Jocelyn. In your bio, you can say whether she's working with a 100-person organization ready to go big or a startup ready to go to the next level. What is certain is that they will stand on something unique and distinct to stand out and grow to the next level through the rebrand process that she oversees, something like that. But if you put that in there, then at least we know who it is. And if you're able to drop a couple of names of organizations that you've been fortunate enough to transform, that brings even more credibility to your offer. And so I'm curious how that lands for you. You're saying, yes, I'm familiar with Wyatt Webb and his work. It's true. You learn so much through your interaction with the horse and watching others in theirs. Yes, indeed. Which brought me to something else I wanted to say about your message, which is when teams go through this experience together, I would imagine that it's pretty revealing what people can learn about their fellow teammates so that they can learn how to interact with them in a more connected way that could subsequently result in amplified performance and better team rapport and better cooperation in the clutch moments and that sort of thing. But that might be something interesting to talk about too. Because the other thing you had in your bio, which you had 2 paragraphs that you were offering, Jocelyn is passionate about helping entrepreneurs and business owners own their uniqueness so they attract ideal clients and earn more revenue. The combination of her finance background, MBA, brand strategy, visual facilitation, and coaching gives her a unique ability to understand complex businesses and teams to help people lead with confidence. And that's okay. And I think that what I was kind of hungry for, and excuse me while I clear my throat, you're someone who's clearly standing on her uniqueness, but the words that you're using are just sort of strung together in a really straightforward way. And I'm wondering, and I'm just, spitballing with you here just to see if there's something we can build on. But what if you said, would it surprise you to know that how your team interacts with a horse can reveal buckets about your company's brand? I'm Jocelyn Ring, and since 19XX, I've been working with small and large companies to help them uncover this unique leadership approach that can be expanded such that these kinds of results can happen. They can, if you're talking about giddy up and whoa, let's get going, something like that. Giddy up and whoa is just a fun way to turn a phrase to relate back to the horse aspect of it. Because if you're giddying up, you're gathering speed and accomplishing great things. And if you're in whoa mode, you're stuck. But the creative writer in me is hungry for a way to use fun language to weave in the uniqueness that is working with horses to uncover what's special, distinct, and preferred about the clients that you're fortunate to work with. So I'm curious about what you think about that. Ooh, I like that, she says. The would it surprise you listening this recording for sure. So just note what time it is. It's 1:15 and we started right about 1 o'clock, but I had a few announcements in the beginning. But listen, it'll be available in the replay indefinitely, so you can just listen to it again and again. But when you are truly unique, distinct, and authentic, you have to put words to it that sort of dance and engage and touch on the imagination and make clear what's special and different about you. So I hope that these comments help you think a little bit more playfully and also more powerfully about the profound impact that you're going to make, because this isn't some formulaic, follow the recipe, do the math and get there. When someone's working with a horse, I mean, I can only speak from my own experience here, but you can read all the books you want, you can attend all the classes you want, but when you've got a 2,000-pound horse in your immediate vicinity and you're responsible for compelling that horse to take action with your leadership, you will know right away what stories are holding you back from stepping into your true essence and what you're here to do. And if you're motivated to overcome that, it could be a huge breakthrough that would be a great transformation for the client to remember, not just for that session, but indefinitely with you as the reason. So I hope that you like those suggestions. She's saying, I need the creative writer in you to help uncover these words and the uniqueness. Well, there you go. Well, here I am. You might just get a kick out of joining me for the Broadcast Your Brilliance bootcamp that's going to be starting early January. It might be an excellent training regimen for you to really get your giddy up going and to have access to me 4 days a week in ways that will exceed your expectations. And so I'll be telling y'all a bit about that in a few minutes. So Jocelyn, I hope this is helpful. And she's saying instant feedback from the horse, and we'll get to the root of your stories or things holding you back. And won't it also paint a possibility of what's possible? Because isn't that what we're all trying to do, is raise the bar and, other metaphors, and we don't want to overdo them, but, Seabiscuit's one of my favorite movies of all time. But, what did this guy, this is a horse that liked to win. He had the heart, even though he didn't stand as tall as others with better breeding, he had the heart of a champion, and there was nothing that could stop him. It was all the way to the roses or nothing for Seabiscuit. And if your people are aiming for the roses and to come in first, they can't do it with a fuddy-duddy brand. They've got to have something that stands apart, that suggests what they stand for and on. And if you have the secret sauce to help bring that out from them so that it stands apart everywhere they are, well, that's exciting. So there you go. All right, let's move on to Donovan, who I just realized, Donovan Dreyer. Hey, Donovan, good to hear from you. I love the work that you're doing, and I would imagine that the work you're doing is got a lot of opportunity right now, especially since teens are stuck at home, virtual learning for the most part, as the world is still sheltering in place. And for many communities, the lockdowns are getting more strict as we head into the holidays, as the pandemic continues to wreak its ugly head and cause challenges for all of us. But for those who haven't yet met Donovan Dreyer, he is the teen takeoff speaker and coach who reveals the modern teens must navigate the inner, outer, and digital worlds to successfully launch in life. He gives a talk that's the first leg of a journey to empower teens to fly through these three real worlds so well that they become contributing members of the future greatest generation of all time. You've got really big intentions for this work that you do, and I applaud that. So what you shared with me was I think it's a speaker sheet. And there's a lot of good things on it. And there's also some opportunity to upgrade. I'm looking at it here. One of the things that I'm calling attention to, Donovan, is that teens benefit from your work, but their economic buyer is likely the parents and perhaps a PTA or PTSA, or the person who's going to pay for you to come and speak is not the kid, it's the parent. And I think if you want to chime in and let me know, I'm pretty sure that's the way this works. So parallel construction is important. So it says teen takeoff flight plan, how to get teens to their destination dream. There's a little typo there. Destination, there's a T missing. Teens will learn the fundamentals to get ready for the rapidly changing real world so they get paid to be themselves and do what they love. They'll discover how to plan for the future, even if your teen someday works in a career or field that doesn't yet exist. I guess what I want to suggest a different approach. Attention guidance counselors, PTSA officers, and parents with teens that are sitting on the fence instead of looking to the future. If you had some kind of a headline that says, hey, wake up, if you are a someone who oversees a large group of teenagers or teenagers yourself, and the problem is that they're sitting on the bench instead of getting involved in life, here's a great opportunity. Donovan Dreyer guides teens to get ready for the rapidly changing real world so they can get paid to be themselves and do what they love. During his engaging workshops and keynotes, he highlights, and then I'm looking for boom, boom, and boom. and so I'm suggesting, and I realize I'm not completing my sentences, but I think we have to draw attention to who your audience is for this particular offering and call them out right out of the box, and then have at least 3 bullet points. Teens will transform, they'll get ready for the rapidly changing world. They'll get inspired to get paid to be themselves and do what they love. And they'll source courage to consider something entirely new that could be their finest hour right out of the gate. Boom, boom, boom. 3 powerful bullet points. Then we reveal who you are, which I already did. You've spoken to a bunch of colleges and universities and by webinar. And you might say that you've done so to rave reviews, Donovan. And what do some people say about the way that you speak up? Did you create a transformation in the room? Did you earn a standing ovation from the teens that were a part of it? Like, what kind of result manifested when you delivered this amazing training? And it says here, Donovan spent 5 years getting a bachelor's in aviation as well as multiple flying credentials. In the process, he has since diverted to guiding teens to get on the right flight plan to get to the destination of their dreams amid the delays and avoid the delays he experienced finding his true calling. That's very authentic and relevant. I guess what I'm saying here, Donovan, there's so much good stuff here, but with the format that you've chosen, I don't know where to put my eye. And you have to sort of remember that other people want help finding out what they should look at too. But if you could abandon this format and use one of the formats that I've shared, like the media one sheet gift template, I think it would organize the information in a more specific way that would make it easier for the recipient to know where to look and where to find what they need, because we have your phone number and we have your email address, but we don't have your social media links. The Get Ready coaching gift that you have is kind of right in the middle. I'm not a professional graphic designer, and I like that you've made an attempt to make this attractive, but I think the format isn't doing you any favors. And I'd like to see it presented with some of these adjustments that I'm suggesting. I hope that's helpful. I am going to go to the comments here to see what's coming up. And Damaris says, have I missed something? Yes, Damaris, it's happening now. And I'm going to start talking to you now. I wonder how I can help you figure that out. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the video. Sometimes not everybody is as comfortable with technology as the next person. And so I'm going to see what I can do to help you. Let's see. I'm just going to type in and say to her, we are live. I see you, Dr. Damaris. Scroll up to see the live video in action. I hope that she'll see that. So she's posted her bio. Awesome. Version 2. Oh my. Let's read this. Introduced as a medicine woman to Hopi elders at Taos Pueblo in 1985, Damaris Drury, PhD psychology, is a leading-edge trauma resolution specialist, author, researcher, educator, speaker, and workshop facilitator. An agent for change for 25 years, she's dedicated to helping people find empowering solutions, succeeding where other interventions have failed. After clearing her own cancer in 2006, she successfully finds solutions to many other physical issues that have emotional roots, such as central nervous system sleep apnea, narcissistic wounding, and autoimmune issues. She uses EFT tapping as a clearing modality with every client. Beyond Talk Therapy and Beyond Sleep Apnea are her websites. Well, it's so nice to meet you, Dr. Damaris Drury from Beyond Talk Therapy. I want to say that there's a lot in here, and I think there's opportunity to improve, and that's why we show up for these calls. Specialist, author, researcher, educator, speaker, and workshop facilitator. Wow, that's a lot. So I want to ask you, what is the number one way that you make the most money in your business? And I would like you to lead with that first. Because if that's the thing you make the most money doing, that's the thing you should lead with. That's the thing you can speak up on podcasts about. That's the thing you can speak up to your own community about. But if you say that you are A, B, C, D, E, and F, people just get overwhelmed and they don't remember any of it. So as an alternative, and I'm just intuiting here because we're just getting to know each other here. Okay. Something like I'm just did you know that not all illnesses Did you know that some illnesses have emotional roots? Dr. Damaris Drury is a leading edge trauma resolution specialist who supports those who have suffered from sleep apnea and narcissistic wounding to heal when all conventional therapies have failed. I think that's kind of closer, because if you ask a question that's engaging, did you know that not all illnesses are rooted? Did you know that some illnesses have emotional roots that can disable your future? Dr. Damaris Drury is a leading edge trauma resolution specialist, period. Since 1990 something, she has guided hundreds or thousands of clients through the powerful use of tapping as a clearing modality to get in touch with the source of their physical problem, and has specific ways of guiding those emotional issues to heal when all other methods have failed. What I've just done there is I've gotten to the meat of the matter of this role that you play and who it's for. And it's when other conventional methods have failed. And then we also said there that hundreds or thousands of people's lives have been transformed for the better, for crossing paths with your very specific approaches, modalities. And then you could also add, oh, by the way, Dr. Damaris used her own approaches to heal her own cancer in 2006 and has been cancer-free since then. And then what you want them to do. I don't know if you're listening or watching, but I hope you are. But I think we've got way too much in there. And I also wanted to tell you that I got your message about Podcast Dream Guest Mastery, and I did email to you today your full copy of Bye Bye Boring Bio 2020 workbook. And I apologize that didn't deliver to you in a timely manner. And I don't know how that happened, but I took care of it today. And hopefully that will help. I'm just looking at the comments to see if you're here. Let's see. Have I missed something? I think I'm talking to you now, Dr. Damaris. I hope you're hearing me. I'm going to see if I can go to the video and tag her there while it's in progress, because that's always fun, the technology on these live calls. So just bear with me. I see it here. Comment. Dr. Damaris, Beyond Talk Therapy. I am talking about you now. I saw your bio and have suggested alternative wording for you to consider. Hopefully she'll see that. Okay, so there we have it. Any comments from anyone here? How's it going? Are you getting some value from this? I know we have a small audience joining us live today, but I'm sure more people will listen in on the replay, and that's always good. Now, I have an announcement to make. On December 2nd, I am going to be doing a webinar. It's actually a live-inar. It's going to happen here within the group. And I'm going to do a 75-minute virtual workshop for free within this group. It's all about becoming a podcast dream guest and how you can get started in that right away. And if you're new to the group and you've not yet had the benefit of Podcast Dream Guest Mastery, or you missed the Podcast Dream Guest the Podcast Dream Guest Challenge that happened in September, this is a timely opportunity for you to get the message about how to show up with a winning bio that can open up the doors for you to be speaking on podcasts, broadcasts, and other stages. And I'm going to do it live within the group on December 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time. And it will live in the group for a period of time. And I will be making an invitation for folks to join me in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp that starts in early January. And what is a boot camp? A boot camp is something that you start and finish very quickly so you can get in super great shape to accomplish even greater things ahead. And what better time than the start of a new year for you to assemble all the assets that you need so that you can broadcast your brilliance, speak up on podcasts, broadcasts, and other stages, and speak up to your own tribe through your own Facebook group or through your own Facebook page or through your own newsletter community, wherever it is that you are holding court with your own fans and followers. Given what's going on with the pandemic, it appears that 2021 is going to be more of the same in terms of virtual speaking for all of us. And to the extent that we can learn how to empower ourselves with how to broadcast our brilliance without leaving home, I think we're going to feel like we have a whole lot more control over our economic destiny than if we were not to do so. So I hope that you will register officially for the December 2nd live-inar or virtual workshop. And that ensures that you get reminded to show up, that you get any goodies that are associated with it, and that I can follow up with you properly so that you get your needs met and have no confusion around tech or being able to find what you need when you need it and that sort of thing. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. And, you know, it is November 16th, right? And there are some people that are saying to themselves, I'm just anticipating my Thanksgiving turkey and my cranberry sauce and cruising into the holidays and watching holiday Hall of Fame movies on Hallmark and just dialing it down. Now, that's certainly one approach. But what if you used the last 6 or 8 weeks of this year to dial it up and see what kind of accomplishments you could achieve in the revenue department, in the client service department, in the content creation department, to position yourself as the expert and leader that your people can't wait to do business with and be led by. I am taking that approach. I have big, big plans for 2021. I am building a moat around myself in terms of turning off any election noise or any COVID-19 noise. And I'm just going to believe and behave as if my finest hour is still ahead and I've got plenty more work to do this year and I'm not going to stop until I get it done. I hope that you will be inspired to do the same. This is not the time to be sitting on your hands and waiting for things to get back to normal. This is the time to get creative, think big, serve at the highest possible level, stand in and on your true value, and go for it. And I'm so happy to see people posting here in the group and asking for my eyes on their bio and their speaker sheets and their Media One sheets. But remember, this is just the beginning of what's possible for you. When you start speaking up on the 365th episode of Ken Newhouse's Get Clients Now podcast, all of a sudden you've got an audience far beyond your expectations that you can ping pong back into your world, who will become fans, followers, members of a Facebook group, purchasers of your products, your programs, your signature flagship offer, and all the rest of it. There's so much upside waiting for each and every one of you. Is now the time to be stepping up to play a bigger game? Is now the time to stop being timid and to believe and behave as if you deserve your place in the spotlight? Every day I say to myself, my work deserves a much wider audience and my business is worthy of sales beyond expectations. I encourage you to take on these mantras for yourself and speak them often when you're brushing your teeth, when you're washing your face, when you're stuck at a stoplight. This is not something that we can just randomly do and hope for the best. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't have time to waste to dilly-dally and figure it out. It's time because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, so why not win? Why not win, and why not now, and why not you? So I hope that you'll join me for the virtual workshop coming up on December 2nd at 10 o'clock. And of course, a replay will be provided, but it's always best to be live. And if there's more comments or questions you have about the bio makeovers that I've suggested or the comments that I've offered, just go ahead and tag me. And if you don't know what that means, it means that you type my name in, and when you look at it, it'll illuminate within the Facebook group, and that lets me know. I get an alert that you have tagged me, that you want me to respond to something, and then I'll come back and look for it. If you don't tag me, I don't know I can't find you because I don't know that you've made a comment. So I hope that's helpful. I love doing these live shows every week, and I hope that you enjoy attending them or watching the replay. And I guess that's all I have for you today. So it is a 1:38 on a Monday, the 16th, bio makeovers and more. Thanks again to Sheldon Clausen and Cloris Kiley for inviting me to be guests and referred guests to wonderful shows. And thanks to Jocelyn Ring and Donovan Dreyer for showing up for today's coaching live. And I can't wait to hear from Damaris Drury to see if the comments that I suggested are helpful to her in refining her message, and to stop being so many different roles and to claim that specific terrific role where you're going to make the most money and make the most impact, because when you do that, people will rush to do business with you in that way, and then all those other things can come into play subsequently. All right, so I hope that's helpful. It's been a pleasure being with you today, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye for now.